Good evening, viewers. It's good to have you joining us on our program, Democracy Watch, that is coming to you from the studios of the Nigerian Television Authority here in Ijebu, your heritage station. We have been telling you about this program that we are going to be watching our democracy together to you, key players in the coming general elections in Ogun State. Now, we have somebody who has been part of the government, and he has done so many things to promote the state of Ogun. And recently the Ogun State just clocked 43, and he is one person that has creditably served Ogun State well. And now he is aspiring to govern the state. Who am I talking about? He is a seasoned politician. He is also a journalist, and his track record are there, and that is speaking for him. Don't let me bore you with much introduction. Let me just tell you today that we are having the governorship candidates of Yes political party in our studio today, and he is this person that people call SK is okay. Welcome with me, Mr. Shino Kawunishi, on this program today.
Thank you very much. Good to be here. Good evening, everybody.
Thank you very much, sir. How has the campaign been? Because we're having few days to the commencement of the election, and I'm sure that you will have been going around the state. How has it been so far, sir?
Well, very interesting. It's a very familiar terrain. We've been there. We've traveled that road before. We've learned a lot of lessons from the way we ran our campaigns in the past, when I was in government and when I contested, for the office of governor in the last election. We've actually changed the model. All this noise making, these rallies where they shoot themselves. We have seen that the name of our party is Yes Electorate Solidarity. That is bringing people, the real electors, the real electorate, together, who are positive, who actually want change. And that is not about noise making. So we make groups. We know the strategic groups that we need to engage in the political process. Those who are really there at the grassroots, the artisans, the traders, the community people, professional groups, and all of these, religious groups. And we're engaging them, at group levels without actually making noise, because we discovered that all these rallies they are making is just optics, of politics without any real substance. So it's been very rewarding. It's something that is actually ennobling when you engage your people. Not that we are divorced from them or we were not actually with them, but to get them, feel them, what are their existential challenges and all of that. So it's been quite, interesting and rewarding.
We are still going to get into details of what you have for the people, but let's look at it, sir. There are different people that has governed Ogun State, right from late Chief BC Onabanjo. We have them like that to OGD, to SIA that is there outgoing now. What is the motive of you, entering into the race?
Yeah, the motive, I don't want to speak like I said, these are other people that is my people that are bringing me in, that my people are putting pressure on me to come and contest.
Okay.
I am in the race because I believe that this country, this state, needs people who are competent, people who have the know-how. Because I do tell people, the most important problem, the most critical problem that we have in Nigeria is not even corruption. It is incompetence of our so-called leaders. They are just not competent. It is incompetence to go and spend R1 billion expanding a kilometer of road when rural roads are not opened up, where real production takes place, where you have more than 60% of our people engaged. Because agric still engage about 60% of the labor force. Yet there is no attention, and you are spending R1 billion to expand an existing road. It is incompetence. Even if the money was not stolen, it is incompetence. And that is the kind of thing. Now, you have a modern world that it is the basis of wealth of nation now. It is no longer natural resources, but knowledge, science and technology, which is a function of knowledge of your education, and your educational sector is totally neglected. That is incompetence. It is worse than corruption. Because we have corrupt society. Every society, one is corrupt one way or the other. And they manage to still develop themselves. But based on the kind of, competent leadership that they have. In Ogun State here especially, it is just incompetence, and it is really, 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 look at what is happening everywhere. Because any money that we want to spend on anything, we have to ask ourselves, what is the return on this? This 1 million naira that we want to spend, what does it do in terms of job creation? What does it do in terms of empowering our people in the true sense of the word? These are the things that we need to ask, not all this white elephant, irrelevant project that we have all over the place.
So talking about corruption, people believe that corruption is so endemic in Nigeria, and they need somebody that can really fight this out so that things can really move forward. What's your take on this? You're saying that corruption is not that endemic in Nigeria?
It is endemic because they deliberately allow corruption. I will give you an example. When you make laws in Nigeria, they make law on a very wrong assumption of human beings. Psalm 51, if you read the Bible, says that in sin did my mother conceive me. To do evil is natural with man. You don't need to train a child to bite. You don't need to train a child to be selfish. You have 2 pieces of meat in the plate, and a child naturally wants to take the 2. Her brother is not taking anything. You need to train that child not to bite, not to be violent, not to cheat. So, obeying the law is not natural. But we make laws on the assumption that the laws will be obeyed. And I will cite an example. We have these traffic lights at the intersection, and nothing is done to monitor. It is believed that when you get there, you will obey. But in advanced countries, where the traffic light actually came from, when they install the traffic light, they put camera there. They have organized their vehicle numbering system, the number plate, in such a way that that number plate has your home address. Once they get it, they know your home address. It has your birthday and every day. So once the camera captures your number plate
for
violating that something, because the camera already takes it. But we brought the traffic light without the camera.
Just bring it as a sign.
So corruption thrives here because we deliberately allow it to thrive. Now, when you say you are fighting corruption and it is catching thieves when they have stolen, it is funny. You prevent that stealing from taking place in the first instance.
Better is better than kill.
Oh, and cheaper. Actually cheaper. It's not just better, it is cheaper. So you make sure that stealing does not even take place in the first instance. And that's about institution building. It's about processes. And let me tell you, once you run a transparent government, the opportunity to steal, the opportunity for corruption reduces drastically. So it is a matter of incompetence that we are having this kind of corruption that we are having. It is not that the white man over there has a better nature. We are all human beings that Psalm 51 applies to. But because they have built a system, they've understood the human nature, that is why you have the CCTV everywhere. The society is an open society. It's a transparent society. Everything is being monitored. Every payment is seen. You don't need Freedom of Information Act to even get information because it is there. So once you build a transparent system, run a transparent government, the proclivity to steal, to be corrupt, is drastically reduced.
Viewers, you are still watching us on our program, Democracy Watch. Candidate of Yes Party in Ogun State, Mr. Shina Kawonishi. We will be back after this break, and we will now go fully into what he has for the people of Ogun State.
Eske ló lè ṣe, Shina Kawonishi ló máa ṣe o. Ìjọba tá tù wá lára Yes Party ló máa ṣe. Ogun State people, we don't get our man. It's not one of them with the chop our money. SK, you no get God the Father, but Baba God and you are the masses. SK is okay, it will never disappoint. Yes Party is the party. The party of the people, oh yeah, gateway, happy Ogun State people dance here. Participatory governance, SK's okay. Quality health and education, yes, party. Boku job and power supply, SK's okay. And many better programs, yes, party. Yes, party,
vote the best man for a better Ogun State. Vote Shino Kawonishi of Yes Electorate Solidarity, Yes Party as governor and Ganiat Agbola as deputy governor of Ogun State. Not among them. Yes Party. Yes, sir.
Thank you. You're welcome back to the program. Now, if you are elected, what do you have for the people and how do you intend to achieve your programs?
Paradigm shift first and foremost. Now, a lot of people talk about programs. This is what we are going to do in education, health, and all of that. These are programs that require spending, require a lot of money. Yet Ogun State, has one challenge now. The debt burden, the debt overhang on Ogun State is terrible. That means that the issue of revenue is a very big one. And talking about revenue, you have three sources. The fact that it's coming from Abuja, the oil money that is shared in Abuja every month. You have what we call the IGR, internally generated revenue, and of course you have capital receipt. Capital receipt is the one that you go to the capital market to go and borrow and all of that. So out of these three sources of revenue, the only one that you can control, that you have your hand on, is your IGR. You cannot control what is coming from Abuja because you don't even know how much fuel we sell. Crude oil will sell in the international system in the next international market in the next one week or even the next 2 days and all of that. So the one that you can actually plan on is your IGR. So we need to improve our IGR. How do we want to do that? I'm proposing a program that we call the Congest Lagos. Now, when you look at Lagos, Lagos has a lot of population that is not being catered for. I describe Lagos as an organized chaos. Now, the 2006 population census gave Lagos State 15 million residents. Now, at 2.5% annual growth rate from 2006 to date, Lagos State should be approaching about 22 million and all of that. Incidentally, the only state that shares border with Lagos is Ogun State through 4 local government that I call the Osea local government. Go for Bafemewode local government, that is but for Mowe Axis, where you have all these big camps for all these religious organizations. Then you have S for Shagamu, which is Ugijo bordering Ikorodu, I-44, Alagbole, Agbado, Okearo, Akute, the rest of them, and A for Ado, the local government. Now, out of the 6 billion naira reported as IGR monthly by the Ogun State government, 70% of our IGR actually comes from these 4 local governments, and yet they have nothing to show by way of infrastructure. So what we are planning to do is to engage on massive infrastructural development of those 4 local governments to make it possible for people who are working in Lagos to live here, those who are actually paying their taxes in Lagos. The residency rule of taxation says you pay your taxes where you reside and not necessarily where you work. So if you can get Lagos, if just 1 million that you can take out of Lagos, the Congest Lagos, and get these people who are working in Ikeja, VI, Victoria Island, the mainland, to live in Ogun State, we'll be able to collect a lot of IGR. That is number one. The federal government is about commissioning the Lagos-Ibadan railway line, the standard gauge. Now this railway line has 9 stations. 5 of these stations are in Ogun State. So we want to leverage on that by building housing estates around these stations, starting with the one closest to Lagos, so that people who are actually working, because if you go by rail transportation, you can time, because rail has frequency, there is no hold up, there is no, so they can say, okay, peak hour 5 minutes, when it is a little, then when the pressure is a little eased, you can say 15 minutes as it is done. So people can actually time themselves and say, okay, we are living in this place, this part of Ogun State, and you are working in Lagos State. So we want to build condominium where thousands of people who are working in Lagos, and we will execute this project not with government money as such, but through what we call PPP, public-private partnership. It's just to provide the land and maybe little infrastructure to support, and you have all of these buildings there. So, and the point in this is that we will allocate these housing units to only people who are working in Lagos, not those who are working in Ogun State, because that will not make any difference to us. You're already working in Ogun State. That means your taxes are being paid into Ogun State. So we will make sure that only people who are working in Lagos State, paying taxes in Lagos State, will be the ones who will be eligible for that. The third aspect is to make sure that we create an enabling environment for a lot of these factories, industries to move to Ogun State, because Lagos State has no more space for them. When we were in government, that's Nestle, in Shagamu. When they wanted to come, we attracted them by giving them free land. That land was worth about 200 million. Ogun State government has made several of that in terms of employment, in terms of even the payers one that we have. So we are going to create that enabling environment that all of this. So the target is to be able to double our IGR within 2-3 years. Instead of this 6 billion that they were celebrating, Ogun State has the potential of collecting 20 billion, because Lagos State is currently collecting 32 billion every month, and there's no way, there's no room for expansion in Lagos again for anything. So that is number one, and that is to be able to raise enough revenue for our programs that are pro people without being encumbered by lack of fund, by the huge debt overhang that we'll be inheriting.
Now, what about your programs for the artisans?
We are going there actually. Thank you very much. As I said, we are bringing in this program that we call World Development Council. In the last 8 years, the local government system has been killed in Ogun State. They only pay salaries. In 2017, Ijebu, the local government, where we are now, spent 492 million, out of which only 9.8 million went on capital expenditure. Go and fact check what I've just said now. Okay. So the local government exists, to just pay salary. If you have a friend that is a local government chairman, he can't even facilitate even something of 10,000 naira to you. So what we want to do is to empower the wards. Like I said, 6 billion naira every month as IGR. We want to take out 30% of this to be shared equally among these 236 wards. What do they do with this money? They determine what their priorities are in terms of infrastructure. In some localities, maybe it is maternity center they need now. Maybe it is water. Maybe it is, they want to replace their transformers. Anything that they decide they want to do by themselves. Number one. Number two, they will be the ones to execute these projects. That is, the local artisans. Let's say they want to build a structure now, a classroom, a maternity center, a health center, a facility, or a community resource center. Now, the block they are going to use in constructing that structure will be supplied by the local person registered who is molding blocks. The cement will be bought within that ward. The mason that will do the construction, the bricklayer, will be the one registered who is living within that ward. The carpenter that will roof it will be within that ward. Yeah, sometimes we tell people this and it appears so fantastic that how can this be? And we remind them that if you go back to the UPN government of Chief Olabisi Onabanjo in 1979, I was about leaving secondary school at that time, so I knew exactly what was going on. Whenever they had all these public works, they want to make this culvert for gutter and all of that, they share these things to party people. They wanted to maybe equip a classroom, for instance, desks and chairs. They will give them the sample, the specimen, and say, okay, this is the wood we want you to use. And they will share to party members. My own mother was a member, late mother was a member of UPN. She got all of these petty contracts. It's the process of that, what were used to train us in school. So it's not something that we've not done before. What we are proposing is only down deeper and broader that will involve our people. So number one, the people decide what they want with this money. Minimum of 10 million naira every month from when we calculated. Number two, they themselves execute this project. They execute this project and make money in the process of it. So now, government spending at this level is now used as a means of empowering, in the true sense of the word, the local population. Number three, development takes place simultaneously in all parts of Ogun State. Unlike what we have in terms of the acquisition of, that is not even acquisition, it's something that we all see, lopsided development. It will not be now, this is an Ijebu governor from Ijebu now, and it's concentrating all infrastructure in Ijebu. No, it will not be like that, because every ward in all the 236 wards of Ogun State will be busy, doing one project or the other in terms of what they consider necessary. Number two, according to the National Bureau of Statistics, in the last 9 months, within a space of 9 months last year, 3.3 million Nigerians lost their jobs. The issue of unemployment is a very, very serious crisis, because our children are not engaged. They started with Yahoo, now it's Yahoo Plus everywhere. So it's terrible. Even women now cannot, put their pound outside and all of that. It will be stolen and for ritual purposes and all of that. So, and it's not because they are naturally bad. It's because they are not engaged. When I got out of secondary school, I started work the second day. When I graduated from the university, I had a job waiting for me. All of those facilities, opportunities are no longer there. How do we want to solve this? We want to solve that by providing microcredit for our people through their cooperative societies, so that people will be able to access credit that they need for their startups, for their businesses, trading and all of that. At rate, the charges on it will just be for administrative charges, no more than maximum of 5% per annum. Unlike what happens, with the microcredit institutions, where they go and take facilities for 5-7% per annum. Per month. It's terrible. So this way, we should be able to mop up a lot of this unemployment in the system. The government will not be in a position to now want to employ more, because even the civil service, as it were, is overbloated. But not that we are suggesting that we are going to rationalize staff or what have you. So those are the things that we want to do. In terms of education, a lot is there that we need to do. Ogun State is in crisis. The last WAEC result released in Ogun State came number 19, where we used to excel. We used to pride ourselves as a state of education advancement. State where we had Taisho Lari, where we had Chief Obafemi, where we still have Professor Wole Soyinka, now coming 19. In fact, there was a particular year that even Borno State, with all of its challenges in Boko Haram, performed better than Ogun State. It's a disaster.
Yes, sir. Because of our time that is fast spent, you talk about empowering the local governments. I want to add, if you believe in local government autonomy, and if you are going to grant them this autonomy, and would it be in addition to the 10 million naira that you...
Now, the issue of local government autonomy, the conception of local autonomy is actually wrong in a federation. A true federation should have two tiers of government, the federal and the state. Where the presidential system that we are practicing was taken from, America, they have just two tiers of government. The counties, the municipal government exist at the pleasure of the state. It is not this kind of thing that is, you now have constitution. Local government created and written to the constitution. They now become canonical. You cannot even break them. You cannot change them. Because for you to remove any local government or something to create local government now, you need to amend the constitution, which is almost impossible to do. So, I actually don't believe in a separate tier of government. But you are saying that we are actually going to disaggregate development even beyond the local government to the wards. So all this conception of local government autonomy is based on certain idea of federalism that is not consistent with true federalism. True federalism will have local government as a subset of the state. They will exist at the pleasure of the state. The state will have, preserve and the powers to create local government or to match local government as we have it. You look at what happened in Lagos State when Bola Tinubu tried to create the SCDA, and the federal government now confiscated it or something. They went to the Supreme Court and they said, no, you can't do that. They have the powers to do that. So my own idea is that, in fact, the local level, the local community should be empowered further beyond the local government. So all of this allocation that is just going directly, that the state government, all the state governments confiscate, we are not going to do all of that. This money that will be coming to the local government will actually go to develop the local something, without actually affirming the principle of autonomy of the of a total of government. It is something that is very peculiar to Nigeria. You are talking of, where do you have these 3 tiers of government anywhere? In the UK, you have the councils and all of that. They don't exist. They exist. Are you getting what I'm saying now? They are not separate tier of government written to their constitution.
Now, viewers, before we round up, because the time is almost fast spent, let us go for this quick break.
SK ló lè ṣe ṣínà káwọn oníṣe ló máa ṣe o ìjọba tààtù wà lára yes party ló máa ṣe. Ogun state people, we don't get our man. It's not one of them with the chop our money. SK, you no get God the Father, but Baba God and you or the masses. SK is okay, it will never disappoint. Yes, party is the party of the people. Oh yeah, gateway, happy Ogun State people dance here. Participatory governance, SK is okay. Quality health and education, yes, party. Work job and power supply, SK is okay. And many better programs, yes, party.
Vote the best man for a better Ogun State. Vote Shino Kawonishi of Yes Electorate Solidarity, Yes Party as governor and Ganiat Agbola as deputy governor of Ogun State. Not among them. Yes Party. Yes, sir.
What will be your final words to our viewers?
Well, I know that our people are very tired of this conventional politician. You introduce me as a citizen politician. I'm not a politician. I'm a professional in politics. You have 2 categories of people involved in the political process: the professional politicians who have no second address, and the professionals in politics. You, as a professional now, if you are given an appointment, nobody should not be describing you as a politician because of that. So we are here to make a difference. Our people are tired with all of these professional politicians who only live on the blood and the sweat of our people. Our people are ready to reject them, and they will be rejected. From the totality of what we are seeing on the field, people want people of ideas and all of that, and they are all supporting Yes Party everywhere. It is yes all the way.
Okay, sir. And that's it, viewers. You have heard it all from the governorship candidates of Yes Party in Ogun State, and I hope you have learned 1 or 2 things from what he said. The choice is yours. Sir, we want to thank you for finding time out of your busy schedule to grace this program, and I'm sure that our viewers too, they've heard you, they know the kind of program you have for them. We wish you success come March 2nd, 2019.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
God bless you.
So till we meet again, viewers, very shortly, I remain your uncle, Yemi Dalemo. Thank you and have a blessed day.